right, folks, we are live here at Redbird Arena. Kurt Pegler, Matt Taphorn with you. Illinois State and Southern Illinois. 11-5, the Redbirds with the early lead as we are joined in progress after the Illini victory over Seton Hall, 75-65. 6-point Illinois State lead. The Redbirds have come out with a lot of emotion, and they're playing with a lot of enthusiasm right now. Dierman double teamed. Now it's a pull-up jumper that is good that time from Kent Williams, who now has 5 of his team's 7 points.
And Kent Williams looking to be very active on the offensive end in the game against Southwest Missouri State. As we talked about, he played against Dano Novak, about 6'7" defender, had a lot of difficulty. Today he's going against Randy Rice at about 6'1".
Alexander has hit his first 2 3-point shots from the field, and the Redbirds have doubled up the Salukis at 14-7.
Great confidence that time by the freshman. A lot of energy out of this crowd here in the early part of the ball game.
Now Brooks had his shot swatted out of there by Strandmark. Redbirds play on when they hurry. Rice to Jepson.
The Birds are fired up right now. Coach Bruce Weber wants a 30-second timeout. This is the kind of start that he wanted to avoid, and the exact type of start that Tom Richardson wanted for his ball club.
16-7, Illinois State with the early lead. Greg Alexander has 6 points, and Sean Jepson has 6 points, and here's the last of those 2 points on the break.
Great job by Jepson to give the ball up, get it to Randy Rice. Let the assist leader for the Redbirds get it back to Jepson, going to the bucket for the easy lay-in. Great energy by the Redbirds here in the early going. See if they can sustain this throughout the ball game.
The Redbirds are shooting 6 of 8 from the field for 75%, and they've held the Salukis to a cold start of just 3 out of 8 for 37.5%. The Salukis are coming off a loss, a midweek loss at Southwest Missouri State, and have yet to lose back-to-back games this year. The Redbirds trying to hand SIU its first 2-game losing streak of the season.
And for the Redbirds to get a victory today, they need 2 things to happen. They need to control their turnovers. They had 24 in the ball game in Carbondale. They also need to keep the Salukis off the boards. Salukis had 20 offensive rebounds in that 21-point victory earlier in the year.
Here's Dierman, double team now, looking for help. He gets it out to Bowie, who's just checked into the ball game. He was stripped, but it's going to be a reach-in foul on Sean Jepson.
And that's Jepson's 2nd foul. He's picked up 2 fouls in the early part of the ball game. The first 5 minutes, on those reach-ins on the baseline. Same exact foul. He's going to have to come out of the ball game.
Timeout on the floor. Illinois State off to a quick start. They lead the Salukis 16-7.
Our first Redbird star is women's head basketball coach Jenny Young, who'll be writing for
the Redbird Arena, everybody. The Illinois State Redbirds taking on Southern Illinois University. Watch for the Redbirds to be moving around the outside again. Watch for Greg Alexander to try to stay open out on the rim. And the double team. They worked a lot of the double team the last few games. This game, they're going to be a little more careful. They say SIU is reading the play, so they have to be a little more careful. Kurt and Matt.
Thank you, Renee. Roaming our sidelines again this afternoon. Kent Williams, first miss of the afternoon, but Dierman goes and gets the ball in the corner, dribbles it, headed ball stripped by Casey Reed that time.
Yeah, and again, a good reach in that time by Casey Reed. That's the 2 fouls that Jepson's been called on. Casey Reed got away with it that time. But again, that offensive rebound by the Salukis is going to cause the Birds problems.
Strandmark tried to connect with Greg Alexander on the back door. It's picked up. Now Williams brings the ball up the floor and threw it away.
Out of control that time. Good defensive transition by the Redbirds, picking up the Salukis as they were heading down the floor. And certainly Kent Williams is going to draw a crowd when he has his hands on the ball.
And there's Cedric Ford checking in for the first time for the Redbirds. So let's reset it for you. Casey Reed, Vince Green, Greg Alexander, Cedric Ford, and Babukar Bojang are the 5 on the floor for the Redbirds. Southern Illinois counters with Marcus Belcher, Brad Korn, who's in the game for the first time, Stetson Hairston, who really hurt the Birds in the game in Carbondale. Roland Roberts is on the floor along with Darren Brooks. Bojang hangs, fires, missed a short shot, and Roberts clears.
Didn't really follow through on that. Could have used the board in that situation. Babukar Bojang has a nice soft touch inside, though, and he's able to get the ball in over the rim 9 times out of 10.
We've played 6 minutes here at Redbird Arena. Good start for the Redbirds. They lead the Salukis 16-7. Now it's Belcher. Kick out. Korn from the corner. Airballed it. But it went right to Roland Roberts. He's going to score it and get fouled.
Casey Reed has got to clear that rebound out of there. He didn't go after it strong with two hands, kind of went after it lazily. And Stetson Hairston did a good job, the freshman from behind, picking a piece of the ball. And Roland Roberts gets his hands on this ball, even though he gets hacked on the arm, still goes up with the left hand and lays it in. Just a big, strong presence inside for the senior for the Salukis.
He and Mike Wallace are probably the two most physical athletes in the conference. Wallace, of course, of Southwest Missouri State, but Roberts airballed the free throw. And Bruce Weber trying to get his team up and going, trying to clap that time, even though his center airballed the free throw. 16-9, Illinois State with the lead and the basketball.
Birds have really looked to go inside to Bojang in the early part of this ball game. He's been very effective against Dearman. Now he's got Roberts on him, and the Birds throw the ball away again. That's the third turnover here in the early going.
Each team now with 3 turnovers here in the first 6.5 minutes.
And that's the problem the Redbirds have right now. When Jepson goes to the bench, they don't have that guy to take his spot. That's kind of a spot that Greg Alexander plays as well. But Casey Reed a little uncomfortable right now out on the floor.
The Salukis are 21-5 overall, 11-3 in the conference in second place, and the Redbirds are a game behind them at 9-5 in the conference. Dylan Brooks went right through the defense. He missed the shot, but Roland Roberts lost the ball out of bounds. It looked like the Salukis were going to get a gift and get it back in the backcourt.
Yeah, Brooks really, as he went in, missed the layup, then went after the ball as Bojang cleared the rebound, knocked it out of his hands, and the Birds came away with the ball momentarily, and then Roland Roberts let it slip out of his hands out of bounds. But again, you need to just be strong with the ball against this tenacious Saluki team.
The officials working this afternoon's game, Sam Banks, Randy Heimerman, and Dave Drucker, and the officials are having a bit of a powwow here at midcourt.
They wanted to make sure that the shot clock should have been reset in that situation. And I don't believe the ball was ever in possession by the Redbirds, and therefore they get a fresh shot clock.
Ford. Now Bojang. Redbirds shooting 67% here in the early going. Now Vince Green's pull-up jumper is off the back of the iron and tipped to the corner, and Roberts comes down with it. 2-on-2 if he wants to take it. And he'll wait for help.
Little mismatch underneath. Roberts against Greg Alexander.
Belcher, foot on the line, so it's going to be a 2-point shot.
The last time down the floor, Vince Green took a shot off the dribble on the move. He's more accustomed and more effective on a spot-up situation. That time he fell a little short.
First 2 points of the afternoon for Belcher. It's a 5-point Redbird lead. Casey Reed kicks it to Bojang. Missed a shot, and Reed fouled it in.
Great job by Casey Reed. After the pass, he fouled it right to the basket. Was able to get the tip in.
And now Hairston all the way down. He missed a shot. Alexander clears for the Birds. Up and down, up and down. It's a big, fast pace so far.
Since Andy Strandmark went to the bench, the Salukis have been much more effective taking the ball to the basket. He was doing a great job while he was in the ball game of erasing that drive.
Whistle away from the basketball, and it's going to be on Southern Illinois' Stetson Hairston.
And that's a mismatch for Hairston trying to guard Shedrick Ford down the block. Ford much more strong down there on the low post. He was able to draw the foul.
Officials timeout. 11:53 to go till halftime. The Redbirds lead the Salukis 18-11.
We'll have a chance to chat with Dirk Williams. He broke his foot the last of January. We'll check in with him, see how things are going. Also, we'll find out what Todd Reeser's up to. Telling us a little bit more about the Battle Bird. A little inside look at what's happening with some tradition at ISU.
All right, thank you, Renee. Dirk Williams in street clothes again watching this one, and he watches Casey Reed with a nice follow here, man.
Yeah, Casey Reed needs to be very effective off the Bird bench. Now with their numbers a little depleted with Williams out, here does a good job of following the shot by Bojang, getting the lay-in off the glass.
Redbirds with an 18-11, 7-point advantage, under 12 minutes to go until halftime.
Birds with Vince Green and Randy Rice both in the ball game at the same time. See if Rice can be effective from a scoring position.
Shedrick Ford from the outside. He has really developed that shot throughout the course of the season.
And that's a position where Dearman has to come out and guard him on the floor, an area where he's not as comfortable outside the lane.
Ford's first basket of the afternoon gives the Redbirds a 9-point lead. Now Roberts backs in on Strandmark. Turnaround shot is no good. Tipped up and in that time by Dierman.
And that's the benefit of having Dierman on the floor when Bojang is on the bench, is they get that offensive rebound tip-in opportunity. Good defense that time by Strandmark. Didn't get the call.
Randy Rice all the way down, out of bounds to Illinois State. But wait a minute, we may have an overturned call here.
I think that will be overruled. It's a good call by the outside official. Casey Reed did come flying in and knock that ball away from the Saluki rebounder. Really, Roland Roberts is fortunate not to have picked up a few more fouls here in this first half, because that time down the floor I thought he might have fouled Randy Rice. The previous time down the floor he thought it might have picked up a charge against Andy Strandmark. So he's got the benefit of the doubt on the majority of calls. Now he only has one foul in the first half.
Kent Williams back in the game. That's him with the ball. Now he gives it up to Roberts. Now Bowie. He knocks down the jump shot. That's his first basket of the afternoon, and the Salukis are within 5 now. It's 20-15.
Good inside-out movement that time by the Salukis. Roland Roberts draws a lot of attention down on the block. He was able to find the wide open Bowie from the free throw line area, knock down the big shot.
Reed's entry pass to Ford now. He's double teamed and knocked off of him by Williams and out of bounds to the Salukis.
Didn't really need that dribble. He had the angle on the post as the good entry feed that time by Casey Reed, and he took an extra dribble, and Kent Williams was able to recover down on the block and strip the ball away, and the ball went off of Ford out of bounds.
5th Illinois State turnover. But now the Redbirds get one right back as Casey Reed picks the pocket of Bowie. Now Strandmark out to an open Green for 3.
Just poor execution that time in transition. Casey Reed never should have given the ball to Strandmark in transition. They were just lost that time. Jump shot from Randy Rice from the corner didn't go down.
And Dierman hits the baseline jumper, and oh, how he loves to hurt the Redbirds.
Dierman has always been a Redbird killer. Big shot that time at the baseline. Right now, the lineup that Illinois State has in there against Southern Illinois is very effective against the Redbirds, very effective with that Dierman-Roberts combination with one of the two, either Strandmark or Bojang on the bench.
Dierman is a guy who can really cause some matchup trouble. He scored 16 against the Redbirds in Carbondale. Here's a nice soft jump shot from the baseline. He just loves to play against Illinois State.
Well, and again, he's got the smaller Shedrick Ford at about 6'5". Dierman goes 6'8", 6'9" with long arms. With Ford trying to guard him out of the baseline, he just rose up over the top of him, got a good look at the basket, and knocked down that 10, 12-foot jump shot.
He's third on his team in scoring. There are 3 Salukis that are averaging in double figures, led by Kent Williams. He's averaging 15.8 a game. Roland Roberts is at 13.7, and then Dierman is at 11.4. So when you've got 3 guys in double figures, you know you can spread the wealth around.
And Sean Jepson back in the ballgame now for the Redbirds with 2 fouls. And still Bojang on the bench, still the size advantage with the Salukis. However, Roland Roberts is checked out of the ball game. May have evened it back up for the Redbirds.
Randy Rice may have dragged his pivot foot. He did, so a traveling violation, 6th Redbird turnover.
And that's just an unforced turnover that time. The ball's weaving around the top. Rice didn't get a good handle on that pass from Greg Alexander. The pass may have been a little bit too low for him to handle. Bobbled it momentarily and drugged that back foot.
As we approach the 9.5-minute mark left here, first half. Good college basketball game here at Redbird Arena. The number 2 and 3 teams in the Missouri Valley Conference meeting, Illinois State and Southern Illinois. The Redbirds lead 20-17. Williams shoots for the tie. His 3 ball is no good, and Strandmark rips down the defensive board.
And Strandmark has been very effective while he's been in there, both from the rebounding standpoint and bothering the Saluki offense as they go inside the lane.
Andy's been much more aggressive in the last couple of weeks for the Redbirds. And now a steal by guess who? Dierman. But he lost the ball on the dribble. He couldn't control it, and Rice comes away with it.
And Strandmark was going to absolutely hammer him as he went up for the shot.
Jepson for 3.
What a big transition that time. Instead of Salukis getting an easy lay-in at one end, they get a big 3-point shot out of Sean Jepson at the other. Big 5-point swing for the Redbirds.
Jepson is now 4 of 4 from the floor. He's the first player in double figures. He has 10. Dierman's shot is no good, and Rice comes away with it. It's one-on-one. Rice and
really
Williams.
Got away with a foul down at the other end, too.
Out of bounds to the Redbirds.
Strandmark really banged Dierman. He stood straight up, though, which is key. He didn't come down with his arms. really banged Diener on that shot, was able to get away with it. The Redbirds go the other way. They'll get possession out of bounds on the blocked shot by Kent Williams.
And now Brad Korn is going to re-enter the game for the Salukis and send Dierman back to the bench.
Redbirds in building that 20-11 lead. It started out at 6 out of 8 shooting from the field. Since then, they've cooled off a bit and only 3 out of their last 10.
Well, they were bound to cool off. They came out so scorching hot. The law of averages says it's going to happen. Bojang on the perimeter. Had the ball stripped that time, and it's Hairston that comes away with it.
Bojang really forcing the ball inside. Didn't have the angle and tried to take it up inside anyway.
Brooks left open for 3 from the top of the circle. Missed the shot and tipped over to Jepson. Ford works the baseline. Count the basket and one.
And that time, Shedrick Ford caught the ball and exploded through the basket. Instead of taking that dribble, that he got a turnover last time. And the Birds, again, have 8 turnovers here in the first half. We talked about that being a key for the ball game. Shedrick Ford did a great job on the pass, entry pass from Sean Jepson, just grabbing it, going straight to the basket.
And Roberts is back in the game now for the Salukis, and Ford to the foul line, where he's a 76% foul shooter. And he makes good on the three-point play, and the Redbird lead is 9. Illinois State 26, Southern Illinois 17. 7:45 to go until halftime. Back at Redbird Arena, Illinois State enjoying a 26-17 advantage. Here's that weird sequence, Matt.
Yeah, Diener lost control of the ball as he kind of peeked out of the corner of his eye at Strandmark. And Sean Jepson, after the turnover, is going to get the ball back in the same sequence and knock down the big 3. I saw before the game, came out here a couple hours prior to the game, Sean Jepson was working with Coach Chad Altadonna and just hit just about every shot he put up. Just really was on fire, and he looks really confident here in the first half with 10 points.
Jepson has now hit 31 of his last 71 shots from beyond the three-point arch. That's better than 44%. The lob down low to Roland Roberts.
And again, with Strandmark on the bench, they have that advantage inside. Roland Roberts has about 50 pounds on Bojang inside, and that time he used all of it to get free and knock down that big dunk.
Roberts with 6 now. He leads his team in scoring. Ford spinning in traffic, pump fake, and he's going to get to the foul line.
And great effort inside that time by Shedrick Ford. Bojang got the ball stripped once again inside. That time it was by Korn. And then Shedrick Ford goes inside, is very strong, gets Roland Roberts off his feet, and gets the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2 shots.
And you feel the intensity right now. This game is really, really intense here in the very early stages. Here's another look at that Roland Roberts lob down as he gets the lob from Korn and jams.
Again, he gets position against Bojang inside, and he goes up and just catches the ball in stride up to the basket and thunders one down.
And so Ford splits the free throws. It's back to an 8-point lead, 27-19 Illinois State. Now from the corner. That shot was missed badly by Williams off the side of the backboard, and Greg Alexander called for timeout while he was on the floor.
Could have actually been called for a travel there. He had the ball and rolled over to call the timeout, but Bird's fortunate to come away with that because Randy Rice fell down as he was trailing Kent Williams on that baseline screen. Williams had a wide open look at the 3, just caught the side of the board. The Redbirds came up with a loose ball.
A nice crowd here on John Maitland Appreciation Day. Before the game, they held a little ceremony, and then at halftime they'll do the same for the senator who has represented the 44th District in Illinois Senate since 1979, and he's on hand, and they got about 9,000 here, and they're really into it here in the early going.
And the key to beating the Salukis has been all year. Roberts and Williams are going to get their points because they get the majority of the shots. It's you got to control the perimeter players around them. You got to control the Hairstons, the Bowies, the Dearmans, and those guys, and Belcher. If those guys have a big game, you're going to be in trouble because now you have more guys to worry about offensively.
That ball was kicked that time by Darren Brooks, who tried to pick off that pass from Jepson. 6:46 to go until halftime. Illinois State 27 and Southern Illinois 19. Kurt Pegler, Matt Taphorn with you here on CBS 31. A Redbird victory today would pull Illinois State within 1 game of the second-place Salukis.
A lot of teams, you see a lot of teams doing this now, huddling before an out-of-bounds player, before a free throw. That time the Redbirds doing it, and Korn decided to get involved, and Shedrick Ford said he didn't want any part of that, and that's why the official stepped in.
Bojang with the floater.
Good high release that time by Bojang, got it up over the top of Roberts, and knocked down 2.
Williams dropped down to Roberts. He missed the shot, but he drew the foul.
And Roberts got the ball inside the lane that time, just pushed Bojang back until he was able to get the ball inside. That's 2 fouls on Bojang. I think in this situation, got to go back with Strandmark. Look where Roberts gets the ball inside that white line on the lane. You can't stop him in there. He's just too strong.
Crowd trying to get on Roland Roberts since he airballed that first free throw attempt. He's only 41% from the foul line, so it's not his favorite shot in his repertoire.
Birds have yet to go to the bench to replace Bojang. They feel like he's only got 1 foul, but in actuality, he does have 2.
And the second foul shot for the transfer from Virginia Tech is missed, and Bojang clears for the ISU Redbirds, who lead by 9 now, 29-20, under 6.5 to go in the first half.
And Bojang and Shedrick Ford really collided on that rebound. Shedrick Ford is still trying to shake the cobwebs out after Bojang caught him with an elbow.
And he's going to be called for a foul as he tried to set a screen on Diener.
Boy, that's a tough call. He just walked over to the guy. It wasn't even a physical screen. He certainly did get his money's worth on that one. When you're wide open and the official's standing right there, he has the opportunity to make that call.
That's the 5th team foul on the Redbirds, and the first one whistled against Shedrick Ford. Diener working on Ford, hangs, fires, and scores again.
And that's that mismatch. Shedrick Ford has really struggled defensively this year trying to guard the bigger player inside. Offensively, he does have an advantage, but defensively, he kind of puts himself at a disadvantage trying to guard the taller 6'8" Diener in this case.
Randy Rice had the ball stripped and out of bounds by Diener.
Strandmark will get back in the game. He's actually going to come in for Ford in this situation. We'll see if, I'm sure Strandmark will guard Roberts inside. And this time the official just sets the ball down on the baseline because the Redbirds weren't coming out of that little huddle.
Alexander around a screen from Strandmark to the baseline, hangs, fires, scores, and gets to the foul line.
What an aggressive move that time by the freshman from Lincoln. Really going after it here offensively. That's 2 out of his 8 points. Had the angle that time as Roberts was trailing, trying to cut him off. Gets to the basket, slides against Diener, lays it up off the glass and in. Good strong move that time by Greg Alexander.
And so the freshman from Lincoln makes good on the 3-point play. And Greg Alexander has given Illinois State its largest lead of the afternoon, 10 points. It's 32-22 Redbirds.
They're going right at Bojang again.
Diener to Roberts.
Good pass out of the double team that time by Diener. Strandmark came over to help out in the double team. In that situation, I think you can let Diener go one-on-one with Bojang and keep Strandmark on Roberts. Roberts got freed up for the nice little reverse dunk.
Alexander draws the double team. Jepson's fade away.
And no hesitation there again. The key point we made on our broadcast, when Sean Jepson hesitates or shot fakes, he does get into the flow of the offense. That time without hesitation, knocked down that baseline shot.
And Jeff is a perfect 5 out of 5 from the floor. And Kent Williams answers that time, and he thought he got fouled. He was looking for the 3-point opportunity.
Yeah, tough no call that time by the officials. I thought Bojang may have picked up his 3rd, but Kent Williams, very deceptive offensively. Doesn't look big and strong out there, but he does a great job of getting the ball in the basket.
Bojang on Diener. His floater is good.
Really got that up near. Roberts really came over to try to block that shot. Bojang with the high release. Always likes to go to that right shoulder and shoot that little fadeaway inside.
The Redbirds are 14 of 23 from the field, 61%, and have a 10-point lead.
2 minutes And what the Redbirds are doing offensively is moving the ball, getting good shots, trying to pound it inside. They realize that Southern Illinois may have a size advantage with Roberts and Dearman in there, but they're not hesitating to go inside to Bojang. He's been very effective in this ball game.
And Roland Roberts leaves the game, as does Kent Williams. Tyrese Bowie is checked in, along with Sylvester Willis for Southern Illinois. 62 points scored here in this first half, and still better than 4 minutes to go. It's been a quick scoring pace. Belcher misses the shot. Bojang gets it for the Birds.
Good recovery that time by Bojang. And again, the presence of Strandmark inside allowed the Redbirds to make the Saluki offensive player shoot it from the inside.
Randy Rice all the way down.
Randy Rice has electrified this crowd once again. Little crossover dribble, got all the way to the basket.
And now Sean Jepson has just picked up his third foul.
Man, he has not gotten his money's worth on any of the fouls he's picked up. That's his third, and they're all with the reach-in variety. He just needs to avoid that. Dearman's not going to do anything with the ball with his back to the basket like that. Third foul on Jepson.
A critical foul for the Redbirds as Jepson goes to the Redbird bench. Let's take a look at the Missouri Valley Conference standings, brought to you by Edward Jones, with more than 125 years of experience helping individuals build financial security. Quality investing is what Edward Jones is all about. You see the reason why this game is so important. Creighton's in first, Southern's in second, Illinois State's in third. So you got the numbers 2 and 3 teams in the conference battling right now. Now back to live action. Brooks the miss, and Strandmark clears for the Birds.
Great block out that time by Strandmark against Dearman. He's really doing a lot of little things out there for the Redbirds, but very effective.
ISU with a basketball and a 12-point lead. Casey Reed now out to Rice. Now it's Strandmark.
Right shoulder every time.
Bojang.
Little fadeaway. He loves that right shoulder.
It's a 14-point Redbird advantage.
And Bojang, he still has 2 fouls in this ball game. We'll see if Coach Tom Richards tries to get him out of there in defensive situations to protect him from picking up that third foul.
Dearman over Strandmark. He missed it. It's tipped out. Saved that time by the Salukis. Nicely done by Darren Brooks.
I'll take my chance with Dearman shooting that shot all day long.
Now it's Marcus Belcher, and that's going to be a foul against Casey Reed. And it's going to be 1-1 now.
The officials have really been letting them play for the most part on the perimeter, with the exception of Sean Jepson picking up a few reach-in fouls. That time Casey Reed trailed on the play and tried to get an advantage by a little bump, and the official made the call.
And so Tyrese Bowie goes to the foul line, where he's a 57% foul shooter for 1 in the bonus. It's missed, and Strandmark with another defensive rebound. He's got 4 on the afternoon. Right, lobs over the defense to Babukar Bojang. Missed the shot and cleared by Roberts.
And that time, little jump hook from the baseline as Bojang just fell short. Ball held up on the rim just for a moment and came back off.
Williams,
defense.
Tough shot by Williams.
Great defense by Greg Alexander. We talked about Williams. He has a scorer's mentality. He's not just a great outside shooter. He can score in a variety of ways, and we've seen it so far here in this ball game.
He has 9 points. He's taken over the team lead in scoring. Now Rice crossover dribble, kicks it off to Casey Reed.
What a great move. That's how he scored down the lane before. Rice again, very effective. Nice dump off that time to Casey Reed. He lays it in off the glass.
Roberts down to Dearman, and his shot rejected by Strandmark. Now Bowie, and his shot rejected again. Bojang missed it. Strandmark is fouled from behind.
That man earned the 1-on-1 there. 2 great blocks on the defensive end. And Strandmark goes after the offensive rebound, is able to corral it and draw the foul.
And a smile from the big fella from Geneseo. Watch him on the defensive end in this sequence.
Good block from behind. Just thwarted that one away. Again, holds his ground here, holds his ground. Bowie goes up, knocks it away again. Strandmark over the last 3 ball games, actually since Dirk Williams broke his foot, has stepped up very big for the Redbirds, has really matured here in his junior season. A lot of expectations out of him after his freshman year. He's really starting to produce here this year.
And he's going to get another free throw that time because there was a lane violation by Roland Roberts.
And Roberts is arguing with the official, but it could have just as well been Kent Williams, because Kent Williams was in the lane earlier that time as well.
So again, a 1 and bonus shot here for Strandmark. So scratch that attempt from the record. And he gets another foul shot.
No, he still gets one more. That was the front end of 1 and 1.
That's right. He should get a second one. As Bruce Weber looks on, he's in his 4th year with the Salukis, 72 wins and 44 losses. Strandmark doesn't shoot free throws that often, but if he makes this one, well, he missed it, so he stays at 50%. He's a perfect 10 of 20 now on the season.
And Bojang out of the ball game with those 2 fouls. See if the Salukis try to take advantage of Shedrick Ford inside against Jermaine Dearman.
As we get close to the 1-minute mark left here in what's been a very good first half for the Redbirds. Dearman works on Ford, hangs, fires, forced the shot up, couldn't get it. Roberts got the rebound and half hooked it in.
That shows you some of the versatility of Roberts. Just stays after it on the offensive glass. That time with the nice little left-handed jump hook as Strandmark is waiting to block the shot.
Roberts now in double figures. He has 11, and it's going to be a foul against who?
They called that against Strandmark on a moving screen. The players just got tied up. I don't see how you can call a foul in that situation. Strandmark didn't move at all.
Well, I think one of the officials wanted to whistle Randy Rice, and the other one wanted to whistle Andy Strandmark. So let's see.
Strandmark holds his ground. I thought that the defensive player there really ran into Strandmark, and for some reason the official on the high side called the foul on Strandmark. That wasn't a moving screen by any stretch of the imagination.
So let's see now as Randy Heimerman comes over to the scorer's table to talk things over. And now Sam Banks is asking both coaches, Tom Richardson and Bruce Weber, to meet at the timeline.
And they're saying there's no, what are they saying? A double foul?
That's 19 fouls on Southern. The foul against number 5, Andy Strandmark.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to call it.
You got to be kidding me.
The 18 foul against the Red
The alternating possession goes to the Salukis. I guess both the officials weren't going to disagree on what call they had made. The high side official made the call. It's really his call. And Strandmark is watching. He gets set here. Doesn't really move on this screen at all. The foul's called against the defender. And that's a tough situation. It's kind of a toss-up, and that's kind of what the officials settled on, was a toss-up. Double foul, and Southern will get possession.
All right, Andy Strandmark now picks up his first foul.
Actually, the Redbirds maintain possession. I'm not sure how that worked out. I thought that Southern had the possession arrow.
Well, whistle a foul for Strandmark and whistle a foul for Marcus Belcher of the Salukis. We're under 45 seconds to go here in this half. Out of bounds that time as Ford got tangled up, and it's a turnover against the Redbirds.
And Ford was trying to get position inside and backing his way in. Really never got on his toes again. He was back on his heels as that entry pass came in from Alexander. That's 10 turnovers here in the first half of the Redbirds, something they need to take care of.
Williams. Now it's Korn looking for Roberts. Fadeaway jumper from the baseline. He airballed it. Loose ball on the floor. Williams tries to get it. And he called timeout. Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yep. So that was just a heady play from Kent Williams. He was on the floor. He had no place to go, and he called timeout.
I mean, the crowd really wanted to travel that time on Roberts underneath and didn't get it. Roberts got the ball, and Strandmark did a great job of just staying straight up defensively on the block. Roberts may have moved his feet momentarily and then put up the air ball, trying to get the ball in the top of Andy.
16 and a half seconds to go here until halftime. Don't forget, we'll hear from ISU coach Tom Richardson As he leaves the floor, we'll get his thoughts on this opening half, which has been a very good first half for Illinois State. The Redbirds right now shooting 63% from the floor, Matt, 17 of 27.
Yeah, the only negative you can take away from this first half is Jon Jepson with 3 fouls and the 11 turnovers. You know, the Redbirds are up by 13 points. It could be much more if they just take care of the basketball. And some of that's created from the Southern Illinois defensive pressure and the presence of a guy like Roland Roberts and Jermaine Dearman inside.
There's 12 seconds on the shot clock, so there's a 4.5-second differential. There's the lob into Roberts, and it was rejected by Strandmark.
That's going to be huge going into the second half. Roland Roberts is going to think about nothing else but Andy Strandmark at halftime.
Now Rice, his shot is no good, and it's on the floor and out of bounds to Southern Illinois with 1.3 seconds to go. Andy Strandmark has 3 first-half blocks.
And he's really given Roland Roberts all he can handle on the defensive end.
And now Williams will heave a half-court shot. It's on target, but it's off the mark. And the Redbirds leave the floor at halftime with a 13-point advantage, 43-30 over the second-place SIU Salukis. And Renee Charles is standing by with ISU head coach Tom Richardson.
Well, Coach, now with this game coming into it, how did you see it happening, and are they basically playing the way you thought it would go?
Well, we got off to a good start. We're a little bit of foul trouble, but we got a good lead going into halftime, and we just got to basically try to play the same way we did in the first half.
Now, what are you going to tell the guys during halftime to get them back into this game? No more turnovers, no more missed shots, the fouls like you mentioned. What are you going to tell them to get them back into the game?
Just have a little more poise, a little more patience on offense. And we fouled a couple times unnecessarily out on the perimeter. So just relax, have some poise, and play the way they've been taught.
All right, a good lead right now. Good luck in the next half.
Thank you.
Bye, Coach. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk with Dirk Williams.
In athletics, that same teamwork approach is also important to achieving your financial goals. In either case, you're only as good as the team that surrounds you.
Hi, I'm Matt Taffhorn. At A.G. Edwards & Sons, that team consists of myself and the thousands of personnel at our home office in St. Louis working to help our clients fulfill their financial planning and investment needs.
Call Matt today and let the team of professionals at A.G.
With Dirk Williams, and recently Dirk had a little problem, broke the foot. How's everything going?
My foot's doing all right. I mean the pain's gone away. I'm getting over the shock of not being able to play, not being able to practice. Just sitting on the sidelines and watching, it's totally different than playing.
It's got to be hard to sit over there and watch, especially a game like this with such high intensity. How do you do it when you sit over there? What's going through your mind?
I just have the same still, intensity, emotion over there. I get up, cheer the guys on. They come into timeouts, tell them I'm doing a good job, it's just a lot tougher. I just rather be out there playing.
And now the good news is another week or two, you may be back out here playing.
Hopefully, if it healed all right. I go in for an X-ray on the 25th, day of Evansville. Hopefully everything will be all right, and I'll get my cast off.
And what are you doing right now to keep yourself in shape since you're not practicing right now? What are you doing to stay in shape and get ready for the game?
I lift 4 days a week. That's about it. I can't really do much, anything lower body.
Well, thanks for stopping by and chatting with us. Hopefully it'll be better. We'll see you out here on the court soon. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll chat with Todd Reeser, find out more about the Battlebird. Stick around for that.
Redbird Arena, Redbirds with a 43-30 halftime advantage over the Southern Illinois Salukis. We'll get to Renee's interview with Todd Reeser in a minute. Matt Taphorn, Kurt Pegler. Matt, what jumps out at the stat page for you?
Well, first of all, Jon Jepson has been very effective. 5 out of 5 from the field, 1 out of 1 from three-point range, 12 points. But those 3 big fouls really saddled him in the first half. He needs to be careful not to pick up that 4th and early going, so he's there throughout the ball game. On the other side, out of the 30 points that Southern Illinois has, 20 of those between Roberts and Williams. As long as you let those two do what they do and not let everybody else get off, then you have a chance of winning this ball game.
The Redbirds shooting 61%. They've been scorching in the first half. Halftime festivities continue. Renee sits down with Todd Reeser when we come back. Redbirds have a 13-point halftime lead.
Welcome back to halftime at Redbird Arena here with Assistant Athletic Director Todd Reeser. We've talked a lot about tradition at different schools, and here at Illinois State there's a new tradition that is becoming something very special, and that's the Battlebird. Tell us about it.
Exactly. This is a tradition we established last year. We hope it becomes a tradition. It certainly has to this point, but we had the Battlebird head developed by Rick Herney, a local sculptor. And what it is, it's really about unity, amongst our teams. And we wanted to develop something that all teams could share in, and the Battle Bird is it. Before every home competition in all of our 19 sports, the Battle Bird is going to be present so that when they run onto the field or the court or whatever before their competition, they all pat the bird. So
pat the bird for good luck.
It's about team unity, unity among our student athletes, and it's really been successful.
And this year is sponsored by the Percy family.
That's right. Rick Percy and his family and Clemens and Associates have stepped up, and they have sponsored the Battle Bird for the year. They are the keepers of the bird, so it's really quite an honor, and they're the second keeper of the bird. And we hope this becomes not only a tradition amongst our teams, but amongst some of our outstanding boosters who want to support the program. All
right, Todd, thanks a bunch. Hopefully the Battle Bird will bring good luck to the game today.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll take another break. When we come back to the game.
Halftime here at Redbird Arena, Illinois State 43 and Southern Illinois 30. Matt, let's take a look at those first half highlights.
You're going to see a lot of made shots out of the Redbirds. They shot 61% in the first half. And here, freshman Greg Alexander goes strong to the basket, lays it off the glass for 2 of his 9 points in the first half. For the Salukis, it's been Roland Roberts inside, very strong. This on the alley-oop dunk for 2 of his 11 points. And then Dierman, as he's double-teamed, does a good job of finding Roberts for the reverse. Inside for 2 again. And for the Redbirds, Shedrick Ford knocks down a big jump shot in the first half for 2 of his 6 points. And Sean Jepson gets inside in the action, lays it in for 2 of his game-high 12 points. And for the Redbirds in the first half, shooting 61% to the Salukis 38% from the field. 60% from three-point range, 0 out of 8 for the Salukis from three-point range. The Redbirds 6 out of 8 from the line, 2 out of 5 for Southern Illinois. Both teams with 19 rebounds, and the Redbirds have 10 turnovers to Southern Illinois' 6.
Right now, the game's leading scorer is Sean Jepson. He has 12 points, and the Redbirds are getting 9 points from Greg Alexander and Babukar Bojang. Meanwhile, Roland Roberts leads the Salukis with 11, and then Kent Williams has 9. The 118th meeting between these two longtime rivals here in the Missouri Valley Conference, and we are underway here now in the second half. Hairston ran right around Greg Alexander, hit the short shot over Strandmark.
Alexander really didn't have an angle that time to try to draw the charge. He should have stayed his position there and go up straight against Hairston inside defensively.
Pump fake by Alexander, hangs, fires, missed it. Strandmark tried to get it, locked out of his hands, and Hairston comes away with it. And now a steal by Randy Rice. He jolted right through, all the way down, up and in. They missed the shot. Tipped out of bounds to Illinois State.
Rice really tried to draw the foul that time against Dierman instead of going up and laying it off the glass, and forgot to make the shot. He could have gone underneath the basket and avoided the contact, but a good job of coming underneath, realizing they're trying to get the ball in on the block to Roberts, and came up with a steal.
Man, he came through that like he was shot out of a cannon. Jepson to Alexander.
A little dangerous that time by Jepson. Left his feet offensively. Fortunately, Greg Alexander was there to pick it up.
Now Bojang. He missed the shot. Roberts clears. And an unforced error that time as Roberts threw the ball away. He and Stetson Hairston miscommunicated.
The Redbirds offensively start out a little cold this second half. They probably want to keep the Redbirds off the glass, and Illinois State hasn't had too many good looks from the offensive end.
Well, as we mentioned early in the broadcast, the Salukis have yet to lose back-to-back games this year. In fact, in each of their previous 4 losses, Bruce Weber's team has strung together 4 consecutive wins. So the Redbirds would love to hand Bruce Weber's team its second consecutive loss and its first losing streak of the season.
Another interesting note in this series, I believe in the last 6 years, there's been a sweep in the season series. So with Southern Illinois winning the game down in Carbondale, to maintain that pace, they would need to come away with a victory today, but the Redbirds are going to do everything they can to stop that streak.
And following the conclusion of this, Redbirds lead the Salukis 43-32. Kurt Pegler, Matt Taphorn, and Renee Charles with you here from Redbird Arena. The Redbirds are on a roll as of late. They've won 7 of their last 8 and trying to avenge a loss to Southern Illinois earlier this year back on the 5th of January in Carbondale when the Salukis won the first meeting 79-58.
Salukis really extending their defense now in the second half as well. In the first half, they weren't after the Redbirds as much. Therefore, they get away with a 61% performance in the first half. And Bruce Weber, really known for his defense, has gotten after his defensive team here in the second half.
Rice, the pump fake, and steps inside and knocks down the jumper.
Nice shot fake and step in that time by Randy Rice. Confident to knock down that jump shot.
And now it's Williams. He hangs and fires and scores. He's going to get to the foul line for a three-point opportunity.
And we touched on this in the first half. Kent Williams struggled against the bigger defender Novak against Southwest Missouri State, but Randy Rice at 6'1", Kent Williams at 6'3", has taken advantage of that going to the basket, and that makes him now in the ball game 5 for 10 from the field. All 5 of those field goals that he's made has come inside the three-point arc.
Greg Alexander gets fouled in the backcourt that time by guess who? Williams.
That'll be just Williams' first personal foul. Kind of amazing for a guy that plays with the intensity that he does. That'll be his first foul of the ball game.
Redbirds 45 and Salukis 34. Rice to Jepson, who's playing with 3 fouls. Hangs on the baseline. He is perfect from the field. 6 out of 6.
I didn't think there was any way that shot was going in. Good job by Jepson. A tough pass on the angle that time by Randy Rice, was able to connect.
Hair spin on the baseline. He may have walked it in.
And Strandmark is huge inside. Roland Roberts doesn't know what to do with him, and he's just holding his ground, not really doing anything, creative, just being big inside at 6'11", and that time he drew the turnover against Hairston.
Well, that whole defensive possession there for the Redbirds was controlled by Andy Strandmark. He made Roberts give the ball up, and then he caused that turnover.
And the thing of having Andy Strandmark in the ball game is it relieves some of the pressure defensively against Bojang as well. He's able to back off a little bit defensively and concentrate more on the offensive end.
Strandmark, or I should say Jepson, the catch and shoot, and tip out that time to Dearman. That's the first missed shot from the floor for Sean Jepson, who has 14 points on 6 out of 7 shooting.
Yeah, didn't hesitate whatsoever that time down the floor. The ball was in and out.
And Randy Rice is going to be called for a foul as he bodied up that time on Williams.
Second foul on Rice. Again, he's having trouble getting through that baseline screen against Roland Roberts. Kent Williams, very quick, always active on the offensive end, moves very well without the ball. Randy Rice has picked up 2 quick fouls here in the second half.
And that is Illinois State's second as a team.
And Greg Alexander will move over and guard Kent Williams now. We'll see if he's a little bit more effective having 1 inch against Kent Williams.
Williams got free and knocked down the three-point shot.
And he just steps back and takes the three-point shot. Even though he may have a larger defender on him, he's going to find ways to score.
14 points now for Williams, who's averaging about 16 in the game. And he comes away with a steal that time as he pickpocketed Randy Rice all the way down, and he's hammered that time by Andy Strandmark.
How can that be an intentional foul? He's going after the ball. That's a terrible call. Sam Banks calls him for an intentional foul. There's a lot of contact on the play, but Strandmark clearly is going for the ball.
Williams came down very hard on the Redbird Arena floor, and he is still down.
Strandmark goes up. He's going for the ball. Kent Williams clears him out with his arm. That's a terrible call inside by Sam Banks.
Come on. What happened?
And Williams is still on the floor as Bruce Weber is now.
He may have hit his arm, I think, on the floor, and he's kind of clenching his hand, may have hit the funny bone, may have just got some numbness in his arm right now, and he's kind of tried to shake it off. Bruce Weber is encouraging his star player down on the floor. And I just can't say enough. I thought that was a bad call that time by official Sam Banks.
Let's see if we get another look at it. After the steal, Williams is coming down, and Andy Strandmark is trailing the play.
Williams clears him out with his left hand. Strandmark's trying to go for the ball. Look at that left hand by Kent Williams, and his feet fly up at Strandmark before Strandmark even gets to the play. So unfortunate call that time against the Redbirds. Williams will come out of the ball game. Brooks in the game to shoot the 2 shots, and the Salukis will maintain possession.
Well, the encouraging thing is Williams was able to get up and walk over to the bench, and he appears to be just more shaken than perhaps injured.
Again, I think he may have just hit that elbow on the ground as he came down. He's got some numbness in his arm. He's trying to work it out over there, but I anticipate him coming back in the ballgame.
So Jaron Brooks makes both foul shots, and the Salukis will get the basketball back. It's an 8-point Illinois State advantage, 47-39.
And that whole sequence was created by a turnover by Randy Rice trying to force it defensively, and a good steal that time by Kent Williams.
From the outside, Belcher for three is short, and Bojang comes down with it for the Birds, and he's fouled in the backcourt.
And he's going to be called for being out of bounds. You got to be strong with the ball
initially,
when you
I thought
come
it was
down.
A foul. You're right. I thought it was a foul, but
no,
it was
Bojang had the ball just off balance, trying to clear the possession. Roberts got his hands in on the play, and Bojang just stepped backwards out of bounds.
And now Brooks travels.
Boy, a lot of sloppy play to start the second half. The officials aren't real popular here right now after that call by Sam Banks against Andy Strandmark.
The Redbirds have Vince Green now in the game for Randy Rice. So it's Strandmark, Alexander, Green, Jepson, and Bojang on the floor right now for Illinois State.
Vince Green played very well Wednesday night against Evansville. As Randy Rice was strapped with some fouls, they need him to step up big here in the second half.
Yeah, Green with a 13-point effort at Evansville. Alexander had a shot blocked that time by Darren Brooks, and now the long lead ahead to Roberts all the way down and jamming. And the Salukis are within 6 points, and Tom Richardson calls timeout.
Redbirds just falling apart offensively without Randy Rice and Sean Jepson in the ball game. Really not a lot of offensive firepower out there, and the Salukis are really creating offense out of their defense.
Here's a look again at the Roland Roberts dunk as he outran the defense to track down that ball. He hammers it down. He now has 13 points. Sean Jepson, again, the hot hand, at least for Illinois State initially, and this was a shot that, Matt, you and I, neither of us thought that was going to go down.
Yeah, we talked about his pregame shooting that wasn't missing much. There was just a continuation of that. He's leading the way for the Redbirds with 14 points. But other than that, really nobody else has stepped up here in the second half. That's the only bucket that the Redbirds have made.
Randy Rice, I believe, also has a basket here in the second half.
They have two baskets. Yeah. But again, they're only 2 out of 7 here in the second half, while the Salukis are 4 out of 5, including that dunk there on the last possession by Roland Roberts.
47-41. ISU with a 6-point lead and a whistle away from the ball, and it's on Jermaine Dearman this time. And that's his third foul.
Cedric Ford in the ball game now as Roland Roberts and Andy Strandmark have checked out. A little more quickness in the ball game for the Birds.
Officials timeout. Illinois State 47, Southern Illinois 41 with 15:53 to go here at Redbird Arena.
For Sean Jepson to get out a little more around the baseline. Coach says get the ball out to him. He's doing good along the baseline. Also, he wants the guys to rebound a little bit more. They're not playing off the boards. He said get both hands on the ball. Use your intensity to keep the lead in this game. We'll look for that coming up. Kurt and Matt.
All right, Renee, Tom Richardson's club has a 6-point lead now. 47-41 as we're at the 16-minute mark left here in this basketball game. We figured this one was going to be a barn burner, and it's certainly shaping up to be that way.
It's a big possession for the Redbirds, and they turn it over again.
Darren Brooks comes away with it. Now it's Hairston for 3 from the corner, and it's a 3-point basketball game.
And the Birds just didn't do a very good job in transition. Randy Rice got stuck inside trying to guard Roland Roberts. That left Hairston wide open from 3-point range.
Alexander pump fake, 7 on the shot clock. It's Ford all the way down. Reverse layup, missed the shot, tipped up by Blue. Can't get it. Bojang couldn't get it a second time, and Brooks comes away with it.
Ford really avoided contact. Oh, my.
And a foul on Cedric Ford underneath as he and Roland Roberts collided.
Cedric Ford, his second.
Birds just falling apart offensively right now, really not taking the ball to the basket. And instead of Ford really going after it on the offensive end and tried to lay it up underneath the basket, he avoided Roberts, and then on the other end of the floor picks up the foul.
And the 4th Redbird team foul now, and the second one for Shedrick Ford. And a quick pass down low. Nicely done that time to Darren Brooks, in from out of bounds, and Kent Williams.
And the Salukis have outscored the Redbirds 16-4 here to start the second half.
It's a one-point basketball game, 47-46 in favor of the Redbirds. Now Ford down the lane, and he draws a foul.
Randy Rice again with a seat on the bench. Vince Green back in the ball game, just not really getting done on the offensive end, not getting the team moving on offense and creating opportunities going to the basket, and Vince Green back in.
And a steal that time by Williams.
And Casey Reed stopped on the play. He didn't go to the ball. He stopped, and Kent Williams kept going and was able to come up with a steal.
And the momentum is clearly shifted in favor of the Salukis at this point.
And that's 15 turnovers in the ball game for the Redbirds.
Brooks gets his own shot back. He missed it. Hairston is going to be fouled that time by Vince Green.
And just one mental error after another that right now. Brooks takes the shot from the corner. Sean Jepson doesn't block out. Brooks fouls his shot, gets the rebound. And the Salukis end up with another foul against the Redbirds.
And now Randy Rice and Greg Alexander come in, and Green and Jepson go back to the bench.
You can tell that the intensity has changed in this ball game. Southern Illinois playing with a lot more intensity right now than they did in the first half, and the Redbirds really have to find it once more.
Well, the Salukis tried to score again off that lob on the inbounds pass, but Roberts missed the shot.
Birds have had a tough time getting the ball inside to Bojang, where they were very effective in the first half.
And now Bojang with a big basket from the perimeter.
He's showing some emotion now, trying to get his teammates involved in the ball game.
The Redbirds needed something, and they got a jumper from Bojang. Now it's Hairston. Missed the shot. Casey Reed comes down for Illinois State. In transition, Alexander works the baseline. He's fouled by Williams. His second.
Good job pushing the ball off the floor that time by Randy Rice, and a big rebound on the defensive end by Casey Reed. Went after it strong with two hands, was able to get the ball out to Rice and up the floor.
And now Hairston goes back to the Saluki bench, and Roland Roberts will do the same. So Brooks, Korn, Williams, Tyrese Bowie is in the game for the first time, or for the first time in the second half, I should say, for Southern Illinois, along with Jermaine Dearman. Redbirds with the basketball and a three-point advantage.
Dearman's doing a good job on Bojang down on the block inside, not allowing him to get an angle to get the entry pass.
Eight on the shot clock now. 5 to shoot. Rice hangs and fires and missed the shot, but Reed got it back. Now Alexander for three.
Good offensive rebound by Casey Reed. Maybe a quick shot on the putback by Greg Alexander.
Williams, the crossover dribble.
That time in transition, Casey Reed was out on the floor guarding Kent Williams. Williams much quicker out on the floor, took advantage and took it right to the hole.
Back to a 1-point Illinois State lead. Reed spinning, and he's going to get to the foul line. He drew the foul on Korn.
Casey Reed has been very active on the offensive end in this ball game, more so than we've seen him in a lot of games this year. And he's created a lot of situations where he either getting himself to the basket, or in that situation picking up a foul against Korn, which is his third.
And so the junior from Las Vegas, the transfer from Scottsdale Community College, now tries to make good from the foul line. The Redbirds have been excellent at the free throw line this year. In fact, it's 77.3%. They have the 6th highest percentage from the foul line in the country, and the 2nd highest in school history. Only the 83-84 team at 77.4% was better from the foul line.
There you go.
It's a 2-point game in favor of the Redbirds. And Dearman drew a foul somehow.
Yeah, that'll be third on Bojang. Didn't get his hands up defensively, got him down inside. The official was watching the contact. Got his hand on the hip that time of Dearman and picked up his third foul.
And that's the 6th team foul for the Redbirds. So we'll start seeing free throws for the Salukis from here on out. Dierman, but we've got a whistle away from the basketball.
Against Williams.
Kent Williams, how do you like that?
That'll be his 3rd foul against Greg Alexander. They got tied up on the perimeter. Williams tried to clear him out with his off arm. Greg Alexander went to the floor and picked up the foul.
All right, the 3rd foul now on Williams and 6th for the Salukis in the half. So both the Redbirds and the Salukis are now in the bonus at the 12-minute mark. Ford, pump fake, stepped inside, and got the shot to go down.
Nice little shot that time by Shedrick Ford. Good pump fake to get the defender off his feet. Knock down that 8 to 10-foot jump shot.
Kent Williams now with the shot fake, and he's going to get to the foul line.
And Randy Rice again picks up the foul. Good shot fake that time. Kent Williams is such a smart player out there on the floor. He takes exactly what the defense gives him. That time, good pump fake. Got Greg Alexander by him and was able to draw that contact against Randy Rice.
Well, Williams really is a complete player. He leads the team in assists. He had 85 assists coming into this game with just 40 turnovers. Obviously, you mentioned that he's a scorer, and Tyrese Bryson looks on. No cast on his wrist. He got the cast off on Monday. The cast and 5 pins removed from his hand. And Williams makes
his problems, Coach Richardson says, is now nobody's rebounding and staying in bounds. They may be pulling down the reboards, but they're right down there on the edge, stepping out of bounds, causing a big problem. More of the turnovers, he said they need, again, keep their hands on the ball, stay intense, hit the baseline a little bit more, and there's a lot of pushing going on. So when Southern is pushing up against you, get around behind, break loose, there you go, and you're open. Look for that to come up in the next part of the game. Kurt, Matt.
All right, Renee, 52-50, the ISU advantage with 11:50 to go here. Tom Richardson's team leading at halftime with a comfortable lead, you might say. No such thing as a comfortable lead at halftime, but the Salukis have really come out strong here in the second half.
And the Birds have definitely cooled off shooting. They're 4 for 13 here in the second half after shooting 61% in the first half. And then Greg Alexander with a big shot there.
Alexander and one, and the freshman from Lincoln will go to the foul line and try to complete the 3-point play.
And Randy Rice just threaded the needle that time on the back cut by Alexander. The bounce pass, catches it in stride. Little check this time. Alexander back cuts on Williams. Good bounce pass underneath the arm. Dierman's going to pick up his 4th foul as Greg Alexander lays it in for 2 of his 11 points, and he'll go to the line for a 3-point play.
Alexander has started all but one game this year for the Redbirds and has just been terrific in his freshman year. He is certainly an all-freshman performer in the Missouri Valley Conference this season.
Alexander's such a complete player, does it on both ends of the floor. Defensively, he usually draws the assignment for the other tough offensive player. This time he's on Kent Williams down the floor.
Underneath it's Roberts, and he drew a foul that time on Strandmark.
Strandmark that time got a little lazy, didn't jump ball side that time as the pass, or as the ball was in the corner. Roberts was able again to get himself open inside the lane. In this situation, the cross screen by Kent Williams brings Roberts to the ball. Roberts gets it right underneath the basket.
And so Roberts to the foul line. This guy's been in double figures in all but 4 games this year for the Salukis.
That's a couple of bricks he's put up from the free throw line, so that's not his forte, but I'm sure he'll get to the line often.
He missed both of them, but Dierman comes away, I should say Hairston comes away with a rebound. So another possession for the Salukis. Williams missed the shot, and Strandmark comes away with it.
You know, it's interesting on that free throw attempt that time. It's the second one by Roberts. The official was talking to Shedrick Ford right before then about getting his forearm into Hairston, and that may have made him back off just for a moment. Hairston came up with the offensive rebound.
Backdoor to Reed, and a foul. It's going to be a blocking foul against Southern Illinois.
And good, that backcourt or backdoor cut that time by Casey Reed. Again, very active on the offensive end. This time the bounce pass by Greg Alexander. A little late getting over that time, and Casey Reed will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Well, whatever adjustment the Redbirds have made in the huddle, They've run that backdoor play successfully now 2 of the last 3 possessions, so obviously the coaching staff saw something there.
Well, what they've seen is that Southern Illinois has really picked it up on the defensive end and is really pressuring the ball outside on the floor beyond the 3-point line, something they didn't do in the first half. So the Redbirds are combating that with that back cut to the basket.
And so Casey Reed, who was just at the foul line a minute ago splitting his free throws, gets 2 shots here. I think the officials were trying to confer to see if it was in the act of shooting or not, whether or not to give him the 1-and-1 or the 2 shot.
I think initially he was going to go up for the shot, but when he got fouled hard, it looked as if he may have tried to pass it. That's what the officials were discussing.
That's a better looking free throw. He's 2 out of 4 from the foul line. 6 points for Reed. 5-point Illinois State advantage, 55-50.
And Sean Jepson back in the ball game for the Redbirds. Greg Alexander taking his seat. So Randy Rice will be back on Kent Williams.
And he nearly came away with a steal there.
I'm not sure why the crowd's upset with that. I clearly thought that was knocked out of bounds by Randy Rice.
Roberts again. Gives it up to Hairston. He works his way to the lane and misses the short shot. And Andy Strandmark defensively goes and gets it.
I like seeing that.
And now it's Reed on the baseline.
And Strandmark will pick up a foul.
A reach-over foul that time on Strandmark.
Well, I tell you what, I love seeing Andy Strandmark go after the ball like he did on that defensive rebound. He snatched that ball away with 2 hands and threw the Saluki player to the floor who was trying to battle him for the rebound. On the other end, he came down in transition. Casey Reed missed the shot, and he'll pick up the foul over the back. And that's 4 fouls here in the ballgame for Andy Strandmark. Big foul on that possession for the Redbirds.
And so Strandmark now goes back to the bench.
Strandmark, as you can see, went after it strong and just kind of shoved off the Saluki rebounder. Great intensity in this ball game for Andy Strandmark.
Darren Brooks missed the free throw, and it's tapped around and controlled by Jepson, and he's fouled in the backcourt by Marcus Belcher.
Boy, a lot of fouls going on at both ends of the floor right now. And that's a good foul that time, or a call by the official on the foul. But they're letting them play a little bit, but there's a lot of contact, a lot of physical play going on out there.
And so now Jepson, who's a terrific free throw shooter at 85%, goes to the foul line for 1-and-1.
And with 10 minutes to go in the ball game, after the next foul, both teams will be in a double bonus. This may stretch this game out a little bit.
Jepson has played terrifically for the Redbirds. 6 out of 7 from the field. 15 points right now. He hit his first 5 shots from the floor.
Just a lot of confidence right now for the senior. Really has his game going into the flow of the ball game.
And now the crowd gets back into it. Hairston, backdoor, nicely done to Kent Williams, who now has 20.
And Randy Rice turned his head momentarily to Kent Williams. Kent Williams took advantage of it like a good offensive player will, and took a back cut against Randy Rice. Randy Rice lost Williams on the play, and he'll get the easy lay-in.
Bojang works on Roberts. Missed the shot, tipped around. Cedric Ford comes away with it, and he's fouled.
Well, I can't believe that Roberts didn't pick up the foul. And then Willis picks up, or goes over the back of Bojang inside. Neither one of them pick up the foul. Finally, the third time they're whistled, and Cedric Ford will go line for 2.
We're going to be seeing a lot of free throws here for the rest of this basketball game.
And at 77% on the season, I kind of like the Redbirds' chances compared to 61.5% for the Salukis.
Sylvester Willis leads the ball game for SIU, and Brad Korn has re-entered, and the second foul shot from Ford is good. 59-52 Illinois State. 9.5 here to go. And again, the Redbird Arena crowd gets back on its feet. And Bojang and Roberts.
It's his fourth.
Yep, are colliding down low, and Bojang's going to be whistled. So he and Strandmark each now have 4 fouls.
And this, I'd like to see, I'm not sure I'd like to go with Strandmark here. I'd rather go with Mazanowski in the ball game right now. You got to get a big body in there against Roberts. You got a lot of time in this ball game with 9.5 minutes to play. And both Strandmark and Bojang now with 4 fouls.
Roberts has missed his last 3 free throws.
And I don't understand how Strandmark and Bojang both have 4 fouls and Roberts only has 1. There's been a lot of banging going on between those 3 players, and there's 8 fouls for the Redbirds and 1 for the Salukis.
And Roberts finally makes a free throw. He's just 3 out of 7 from the line. He has 15 points. It's a 6-point Redbird lead at 59-53.
And Strandmark is back in the ball game for Bojang. Defensively, he's done a better job of keeping his hands off. It's on the offensive end with that over-the-back foul that caused his 4th foul.
Rice works the baseline, finds Jepson, thought about it for a minute, now kicks it out to Reed. 9 minutes to go here in this ball game. Jepson, 4-3. He missed it, but another foul underneath.
And Ford really went after that ball. I thought that ball was going to go down by Jepson. Just a little bit of a fadeaway. And Coach Richardson telling me he had a shot on the baseline. But Shedrick Ford was relentless that time going after the offensive boards. And that's the 5th foul called on Korn.
And so Brad Korn will leave this ball game scoreless.
Shot clock was winding down there. Jepson came up a little short, but Shedrick Ford really went after it. Korn was all over his back, and that'll be his 5th, and he's out of the ball game.
And back to the foul line is Shedrick Ford. Now, he has been terrific in Illinois State's last 8 games, coming off the bench, averaging better than 11 points in that stretch as a reserve player.
Bruce Rebler, the coach of the Salukis, was looking down his bench at the time, and Dearman also has 4 fouls, so he's a little reluctant to put him in the ball game. Somewhat depleted by numbers. This actually works in the Redbirds' favor right now as well.
2 more foul shots now coming for Ford. And now Greg Alexander comes in for Casey Reed.
Shedrick Ford has been very effective from the free throw line in the recent games as well, with some of his resurgence in the late season. Again, one of the seniors stepping up for the Redbirds.
Yeah, he's 41 of his last 48 from the foul line now. Here's Hairston. Short shot, can't get it. Willis got it back for the Salukis. He spins and missed it, and Ford comes away with it.
Ford didn't even get off the ground that time for the rebound. Strandmark did a good job maintaining his position. He could have picked up his 5th foul in that situation.
And Ford lost the ball on the floor.
Out of control that time by Ford. Had no angle inside, tried to force it.
Pump fake by Williams. He drives and scores and give him 22 on the afternoon.
Williams is such a smooth player. Just, again, has a defensive running out on him, pressured. Just a little shot fake, frees himself inside the lane, just kind of lobs the ball up over the outreached arm of Andy Strandmark.
Rice, down low to Ford, and he's fouled by Roberts.
And Ford realized he wasn't going to get the ball at the basket. He had Roberts and Willis both coming after him, and he was able to get the contact first before he was able to get the ball up to the basket.
And Ford right back to the free throw line where he's been very comfortable.
And I believe they did call that foul against Roberts, so that'll be his 2nd in the ball game.
He makes them both. He's 6 out of 6 in the last minute and a half from the foul line, and the Redbird lead is 63-55 with 7:55 to go here at Redbird Arena.
He's breaking away easily because they're not watching the transitions, not getting their hands on the ball. Also, no talking going on between the players. They need to exchange a little more information as they see what's going on, share it with each other. That way they can play as a team. Kurt, Matt.
All right, Renee, peeking into the ISU huddle, 63-55. Redbirds with an 8-point advantage.
And the 55 points for the Salukis right now. The Redbirds in their last 10 ball games, 8-2. 8 of those wins, they've held their opponents to 61 points or less. In the 2 losses, their opponents have scored over 61 points.
And Shedrick Ford is called for a foul.
Must have been a switch inside that time. Shedrick Ford trying to guard Roland Roberts, and that actually might be by design right now. Ford has 2 fouls and Strandmark with 4. That time Ford was trying to body up against Roberts and prevent him from getting the ball in the lane. He's going to pick up the foul.
And again, Roberts, who doesn't like to be at the foul line, is there.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a follow through on his shot. The ball doesn't really rotate off the fingertips very well. Kind of a flat shot, and we've seen a lot of foundation work here in this ball game.
He missed it, and Strandmark got it back. Roberts from the foul line now is 2 of 8.
Not a bad move that time by Shedrick Ford to send Roberts to the line, although Ford will pick up his 3rd foul.
Jepson changed his shot, found Ford. And now he finds Rice. 4-3. He missed it. And it's
over the back.
Yep, it's against Southern Illinois. I think Darren Brooks is going to get whistled for it.
And Ford has played one of his most intense games I've seen all year. He's really going after it. Realizes it with Bojang on the bench with 4 fouls. He really needs to step it up, and he's getting his opportunities, getting fouled to go into the free throw line.
Now, there's absolutely no doubt about the amount of energy and intensity that Shedrick Ford is playing with today. And now Dearman comes back in with his 4 fouls, and Sylvester Willis takes a seat next to Bruce Weber.
Be interesting to see Dearman against Ford now, see if Ford can pick up Dearman's 5th foul. He's been very active on the offensive end. Gave up on that one a little too soon on the free throw line, backing off.
Ford now with 9 points from the foul line. He's got 15 in the game. Williams works on Alexander. Missed the shot. Dearman got the board and stuck it back in.
And again, Dearman, as soon as he gets the ball game, produces. Kent Williams draws so much attention on the offensive end. Redbirds that time did a good job of corralling the rebound.
Ford now. He's guarded by Dearman, who has 4 fouls. 12 on the shot clock. Right back at him. Now Rice left open. Strandmark, his long jumper.
Little trade-off that time. Randy Rice gave up the open shot off to Andy Strandmark, and he buries it.
Hairston spinning in the lane. Missed the short shot, and Alexander comes away with it.
Strandmark doing a good job defensively and not going after it and picking up that 5th foul, just staying off and trying to get the rebounds.
Redbird faithful again on their feet. Alexander.
Great screen on the perimeter that time by Randy Rice. Freed up Greg Alexander. He knocks down the big shot.
Look, man.
And again, Kent Williams gets tied up on that screen by Randy Rice after the pass to the wing. Greg Alexander comes across, gets his shoulders squared, knocks down the big shot. Redbirds back to 50% shooting from the field, but more importantly, they've extended this lead back out to 11.
And there are 4 Redbirds in double figures now. Jepson is 16, Ford with 15, Alexander with 13, and Bojang with 11.
And Bojang back in the ball game with 4 fouls along with Strandmark. A little bit of a gamble here by Coach Richardson, but it gets Ford back on the bench.
And a half hook that time goes down by Roberts, who now has 16 points. He immediately caught it and shot it.
And the Redbirds have done a good job maintaining their defensive presence against the remainder of the Salukis. As we talked about, Roberts and Williams are going to get their points, but you got to hold the rest of them down. Dearman's the only one right now with 8 points. And Dearman's down with a knee injury.
Jepson finds Strandmark. Now it's Alexander for 3. He missed the shot. Alexander got the board.
Yeah, good call by the officials. The ball got back out on the perimeter. There wasn't a move at the basket. They aren't going to call it when the offensive team has the ball and the defensive player gets injured, but now that the ball is back out top.
I think we may have a look at the collision that has Dearman on the floor.
Just gets tripped up that time. bangs his knee on the floor. That time may have even got kicked by his own player trying to come across the baseline defensively. The Redbirds will maintain possession.
As we approach the 5-minute mark left in this one. 68-59 Illinois State.
Redbirds with their weave outside trying to get Bojang open inside on the block.
Now it's Rice, pump fake, steps inside, drives all the way down and laid it in.
And a great job by Randy Rice. His defender was inside guarding Bojang. When he got the ball against the bigger Roberts, he took it right to the bucket.
Now Dierman with Bojang on him and a steal by Jepson. It's a foot race with Belcher, all the way down, laid it in. And Roberts quiets the crowd with another hook that goes down. He has 18.
Boy, he's a ton. You keep him off the free throw line, he's a dominant player inside.
But the crowd is feeding off this Redbird energy. 11-point lead with under 4 minutes left. Jepson tried to backdoor it, now gives it out to Bojang. Now Rice down the lane. He finds Strandmark. Had a shot blocked and stripped out of bounds to ISU. Well, for the first time in the afternoon, it was Strandmark being blocked by Roberts. It was the other way around in the first half. 3:44 to go. Redbirds lead the Salukis 72-61. Sean Jepson, the steal and layup on the other end, has given the Illinois State Redbirds a 72-61 advantage, man.
Checks the defender over his shoulder, lays it in. Watch out, cameraman. Jepson, that's right. He got the bucket. Two of his 18 points. Sean Jepson, very active on the offensive end in the ball game.
John Clore is running our baseline camera down there. He's a tough customer. He can take that. Alexander's fouled off the inbounds, and he's going to get to the free throw line.
Be 2 shots for Alexander to add to his 13 points. Since the 13:25 moment of the second half on, the Redbirds had 15 turnovers. Right now they're sitting on 16. So they've done a much, much better job of maintaining control of that possession.
And what the Redbirds have done very well is they were able to stem the tide that Southern Illinois started. The first 6 minutes of this second half was dominated by the Salukis. They got as close as 1 point, but the Redbirds never gave the lead up.
That's right, and they've extended the lead back to 13, just as it was at halftime.
Williams is double-teamed in the corner. He's lost the dribble. He's looking for help. He lobs down to Roberts, who laid it up and missed it, but tipped it right back in.
Boy, the ball was on the rim. The officials didn't see it. The ball was sitting right on the rim. Should have been offensive goaltending.
And Roberts now with 18 points and 9 rebounds as he flirts with a double-double. Backdoor play. It's Ford. He's going to get back to the foul line.
Picks up the foul against Roberts. Got him off his feet with two shot fakes to finally get him off his feet. Picked up his 3rd foul. Shedrick Ford again, very intense inside for the Redbirds.
I want to make a correction on Roland Roberts' statistics. He now does have a double-double, 20 points and 10 boards. And Shedrick Ford, who's made a living at the free throw line here in the second half, is getting real comfortable. Here's another look at that last sequence.
Roberts very quick off his feet, gets the shot up, back up, and you can see the ball sitting right there on the rim. I can't believe the officials didn't make the call.
Ford makes both of his free throws. He's now 11 of 13 from the foul line. He has 17 points. The Redbird lead is 13 at 76-63. It's Roberts again, and there's the hook shot again.
Boy, he's tough. Nice little soft jump hook inside against Shedrick Ford. Gets a smaller defender with Andy Strandmark back on the bench.
Roberts has made 5 of his last 6 shots from the field. The only one he missed was the one that he followed back in with a tip.
Dearman not trying to guard Sean Jepson out on the floor. Now the switch buoys on Jepson. Birds should be content just to wear the shot clock down before going to the bucket.
Rice hangs, fires, missed the shot. Kent Williams on the defensive end. Under 2.5 to go. It's an 11-point Illinois State lead, 76-65. Dierman for 3.
Let him shoot that ball all day long. Bruce Weber kind of folding his arms, frowning at that shot. And if I'm Tom Richardson, I let Jermaine Dearman shoot that ball all day.
Under 2 minutes left here now. Ford had the ball stripped, and it's lobbed ahead to Roberts, but he was fouled before the shot. No, an offensive foul, or no, I think they're going to whistle it on Alexander.
No, they're calling it against Roberts on 15.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Greg Alexander never gave up on the play, just took everything he could.
And now, Bruce Weber just got teed up.
Weber, is that on Williams? Yeah, let's take a look at this again, because I think Greg Alexander just busted his tail to get in front of Roberts and get after the ball first. And you can see Roberts with that off arm just pushes him away. Good call. Sam Banks with the unpopular call in the first half against Strandmark. This time gave it to the advantage of the Redbirds.
The technical foul was called against the Southern Illinois bench.
And Bruce Weber is still pleading his case with official Sam Banks. Jepson knocks down 2, and now Greg Alexander will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. And Roland Roberts will also pick up his 4th foul on that play.
And even the usually stoic Tyrese Bryson has got a big ear-to-ear grin. And you talk about a change of events. That was going to be a steal and a dunk on one end for Roberts. Instead, it's a foul against Roberts, a technical against the SIU bench, and the Redbirds are cashing in at the foul line, and they'll get the ball back.
Bruce Weber really upset. Even when he's trying to call a timeout, he's getting upset with the officials. And as you were saying, Kurt, big swing right there. The Salukis had the opportunity to cut into that lead, would have made it back to single digits, but instead the Redbirds get 4 free throws and possession.
The Redbirds have a 14-point lead, and this game is far from over when you've got a guy like Ted Williams on the floor that shoots the three-pointer so well. But with 1:45 to go, the Redbirds are in very good shape here. Let's take another look at that last sequence, the loose ball foul called against Roland Roberts.
The turnover against the Redbirds, Shedrick Ford, from this angle, and again, right here, right there, right the arm, and you see Greg Alexander going to the floor. He was really taking everything he had just to get to that ball. Water in his veins.
85% free throw shooter. And so 2 more foul shots come the way of the Redbirds, and Jepson has an opportunity to get to the, he's already at the 20-point mark. The Redbirds' highest scoring offensive output this season was an 82-point effort against the University of Texas San Antonio back on the 1st of December. And with this free throw by Sean Jepson, they have now equaled that total of 82 points.
And they've needed all of those 82 points because Southern Illinois has a lot of offensive firepower.
A missed shot that time and a rebound by Jepson. And the Redbirds are in real good shape now.
I don't think the Salukis are even interested in fouling at this point. Bruce Weber is telling them just to back off. No need to foul right now with a 14-point deficit.
1 minute to go now. And the crowd is chanting ISU. Ford the miss. Bojang the tip and the rebound basket.
Great effort on the offensive boards that time by Bojang. The Birds now with the new season high of 84 points.
And Williams quickly on the other end scores. The Redbirds get the ball inbounds to Jepson. He finds Rice as we are under 40 seconds to go.
Birds still need to take one more shot as there's about a 7-second differential right now between the shot clock and the game clock.
The 9,400 fans are on their feet. Alexander from the corner for three. He missed the shot. It's tipped out and controlled by the Salukis. Tyrese Bowie back. His three-point shot is missed, and Bojang the rebound. It seals the deal on an 84-70 Illinois State victory over the Salukis.
Great team effort by the Redbirds today to draw this league race for second place.
48% from the field in knocking off Southern Illinois 84-70. It's been a good day all around for ISU athletics. Jamie Bagnall hit a grand slam on the top of the 7th inning, and the ISU softball team defeated the 6th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes softball team out in Arizona today, and now the Redbirds knock off the number 2 team in the Missouri Valley Conference on the men's basketball floor, 84-70.
Nice afternoon here at Redbird Arena. The Redbirds came away with a great victory, one of their most hard-fought of the season, against a very, very talented Southern Illinois Saluki team. Southern Illinois will be in the NCAA tournament more than likely at the end of the season. This victory by the Redbirds will go along for any postseason aspirations they may have.
What a performance by the Redbirds, who are red hot right now and are just one game behind the Salukis now in the standings for second place in the Missouri Valley Conference. 84-70, the final again here from Redbird Arena. Illinois State led by Sean Jepson's 22 points. For Matt Taphorn, this is Kurt Pegler. 84-70, the Redbirds beat the Salukis, and good night from Redbird Arena.